I've been at strip clubs before, like I get really caught up in the moment. Like I was at this one Rhino in Vegas, like I swear I almost took home a stripper, like a woman.
What up, you little fuck?
Okay guys, I'm doing something really fucking stupid right now. We have an emergency debrief situation. Hi, this is Hallie from the streets of New York. Guys, I had every intention of staying in last night. Okay guys, welcome back to Extra Dirty. I thought today we'd do a cute little solo episode. Honestly, on the way here, I was prepared to talk about, dick and sucking dick, and I had a whole segment about reacting to like sex stories and all that shit. But on the way here, in my Uber car here, I was like reading comments as one does on TikTok. And I feel like this is something that I was going to address on TikTok, and I feel like I should just address it on my podcast. I want to talk about my weight because I'm getting so many comments and getting a lot of DMs about it. A lot of them are like concerned, actually people being concerned and being like, oh my God, take care of yourself. But like, I'm just getting a lot of fucking shit for it right now too. And it's interesting. I've been very transparent and open about my struggles with eating in the past. I've talked about it definitely on this podcast before. But it's weird because I haven't been in a lull, when it comes to recovery with things like this. It's an ebb and flow, it's never linear. Things aren't just like, I wish it was linear. I wish I could take like a pill and, you could just be cured mentally from these demons, but that's just not how life works. This is one of my hardships. This is part of me and will probably always be part of me. And it's shit, but a lot of it has given me perspective on life. It's giving me a lot of patience for other people. It's given me a lot of empathy for a lot of people as well. And I don't think... I don't talk about it much because it's not, a defining characteristic of mine, but it is important, I think, that I do talk about it because I do feel like right now I've lost a bit of weight. First, it was definitely not, I don't want people thinking I intentionally was trying to lose weight. At the top of the year, I would say around New Year's Eve, I was kind of at a fork in the road with my mental health. I, for the first time ever, was getting like wave of attention on the internet. And I feel like with, my social media career, it's kind of been like a steady flow. And then like with random spikes. And I feel like, was it December-ish that there was a spike of attention come towards me? And, I wasn't used to online criticism and people making like so many like dedicated videos about like just like trashing me. And I think I just kind of had no control over that. And for me, like my eating stuff has always been a control mechanism, almost an OCD kind of thing where you don't have control over, different aspects of your life. So I kind of hone in on things I do have control of, which is food for me, what goes in and out of my body. I have control over that. And it feels safe to me, like a safety blanket almost. So I feel like come January, I was kind of in a fork in the road and I, my habits started, changing a bit, not for the best. And then quickly I started losing a lot of weight. But it's never like I'm, intentionally trying to lose weight here. And it's never that. I slip into these bad habits that feel comfortable and safe to me. And it's like a coping mechanism in a way. So, I lost a little bit of weight, but the thing is when you lose weight, I was getting a lot of comments being like, we've never looked better. That's the craziest part. Right now, I'm getting a lot of comments being like, and I've lost a significant amount of weight. I'm getting a lot of comments right now that are like, either you look like fucking shit, you look sick, you look horrible. Like I'm getting DMs being like, I hope you die. Like the craziest things you could possibly think of. I'm getting right now so many comments on my body, just dragging my body on one end. And then on the other side, I'm getting comments being like, body is so tea. Like I've never seen you look better. Like you look amazing. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. Like I need your skincare routine. I need blah, blah, blah. Whatever you're doing, what's your workout routine? I'm getting so many comments on that end of the spectrum. And I've never dealt with such a dip in my weight and a dip in, whatever's going on with my eating stuff publicly where people can kind of see. I post every day, like, you know, and I get people have a right to their opinions about my life. And, you know, I even can take opinions about my body pretty well. I'm used to it. This is what I do for work. I'm okay with that. But, you know, I also feel like I have some sort of responsibility to, you know, also say that I don't think this is okay. I think people either assume that I'm lacking some sort of self-awareness or that I have no people in my corner that are observant of what's going on. Like, I of course do have people that are like, this is all being addressed, but I'm not gonna like talk about that online. I just want people to know that I don't think this is okay. I don't think I look good right now. I don't feel good. And I know that I have an audience of girls, an audience of younger girls. I don't want them thinking that this is something that they should strive to look like. I'm definitely underweight. I'm definitely unhealthy right now. But I just wanted to say that I am working on it. And, you know, I've had dips before and we've come back up, and I just have to get a team back in place, which is what I'm doing right now. A nutritionist, a therapist, all those fun things, and, you know, just address it head on, because once you let these kinds of things slip, they can just snowball. And I've had them snowball in the past. And there's no shittier feeling than feeling just like a prisoner in your own body when it comes to this shit. And people that don't understand really what you're going through, unless like you are in a situation like this with your body and with food. And it's not one of those things, like I always think of it like this, like I'm not going to compare it to alcohol, but you know, alcohol is something I feel like you can at least, you don't need every day to live, like food and water. Like it's a hill I have to climb every day. It's a shitty ass thing that just part of my life. And I just wanted to say that that's what I'm dealing with right now. And it's not fun and it's not good, but it is life, and life sucks. And I feel like I put on this persona online. It's not a persona. It's really who I am when I'm at my, like, when I'm feeling my best, is I'm so happy to get on the internet and like make other people laugh and make myself laugh and make fun of myself. But I'm finding it really hard right now to go online right now when everyone's just picking apart my body every day. It's becoming harder to post. But I feel like if I just address this at least once and just like nip it in the butt a little bit, I just felt like, not that I was being dishonest, but I feel like I was being dishonest by not addressing it. By like omission, I was being dishonest. So yeah, that's a little tidbit and like a heavier aspect of what's going on in my life right now. But I would just say going forward, not that like I can handle the trolls or whatever, but like any comments about my body. I always say this when people lose weight, getting complimented on weight loss, I feel like is so common because people just associate that with like a positive thing for some reason. And I would say 9 times out of 10, weight loss is usually a symptom of, you know, hardship, grief, you know, something like loss. They're going through something that's probably negative. Typically, I feel like that's what weight loss is. But, you know, it's that 1 times out of 10 that people think, oh my God, slight period, you've never looked better, which maybe be the case, but you never know what's going on inside someone's head and what's going on in their life. Like you never really know, which is why I just feel like, you know, comments about people's bodies, even if like it's something positive, I feel like for right now, I would appreciate if people just put that on pause and just, you know, give me a little grace, a little patience. I just want to reassure everyone that I'm aware of what's going on. My friends and family are aware of what's going on. It's being handled. It's being addressed. I'm looking into therapy again, which is also something I've never really talked about on here. My views on therapy. I feel like I kind of have a skewed vision of therapy because I feel like dating and therapy kind of go hand in hand. You kind of have to shop therapists. And I have a very small attention span. I have ADHD. I've never had patience to shop therapists. I've had therapists in the past that have ghosted me, that I've gotten arguments with, that I've fucking hated. Like they're like men. Like I just like, they kind of get on my nerves sometimes. But I feel like therapy is a luxury. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to afford that luxury. So I feel like I should prioritize, you know, and give myself a little more of a grace period and, you know, patience and just find a therapist that works, because I feel like in the long run, I could really benefit from something like that. Not even just food related, just like life related. I always say, like, my mind works in mysterious ways, as we all know. It's what gives me like a creative side, but it also, you know, there's a lot of demons and skeletons in my closet that clearly need sorting. And I could definitely work on my coping mechanisms. You know, I went to rehab. We've talked about this. I've gone to rehab twice, you know, and I'm not discounting a third time, you know, maybe third time's the charm when it comes to this bullshit. I was never good in those settings. I almost like played the system. I like got really close to the psychiatrist and I like almost manipulated them to letting me out of the loony bin. I just don't think I really believe in therapy. And when it comes to therapy, I always knew what they wanted to hear to like get me out of there. And so I'm like, it didn't give me much faith, because I'm like, okay, if I can fucking trick you into letting me out of this fucking loony bin, then like the system is all fucked up. But maybe I went to a janky ass rehab. I think I did go to a janky ass rehab because it was the closest one. It was in Boston, so it was like the closest one to my mom, and like my parents always wanted to visit and they would visit every day. But I don't by all means think it was the nicest. It was kind of like sketchy, to be honest. But that was me going on a tangent about rehab. I don't know. I would like to get a therapist. I have a nutritionist that I love, but I don't listen to her. So I'm like, this is a fucking waste of money. Because, you know, the nice thing about inpatient treatment is that they make you do things and then they change your habits. The shitty part on the other end about inpatient is that you have no freedom, and that fucking sucks. But it kind of forces you into like new habits, which is important. The nice thing about outpatient, which is a psychiatrist for medication, a nutritionist for food and stuff, and a therapist for all the rest of that bullshit, is that they aren't with you 24/7. So you can get away with a lot more. So like a nutritionist can tell you you have to eat X, Y, and Z at these points in the day, but they can't force you to because they're not with you. So you can get away with a lot more. And I feel like that's kind of where I struggle, is because I give myself a lot of leeway to like not get things in that I should be getting in. But I don't know. It's a lot of discipline. It's a lot of willpower. It's a lot harder than one would assume. And it's shitty work. And it's a lot of self-work. And I don't like self-work. And I feel like with my schedule right now, there is no regiment, you know, which I kind of love. The busier I am, I feel like the better I am, because I have less time to think about food, which is where I thrive. But it's those moments of, you know, downtime where I'm like in my apartment alone, or I'm, you know, overthinking, overanalyzing, you know, on, you know, reading comments and just self-doubt. It's those moments of insecurity where I feel like I kind of spiral. And the busier I am, I feel like even if I'm in 3 different cities in 1 week, I almost feel like I have a healthier mind. As fucked up as that sounds, that's just kind of how it is right now. But I need to figure out, for me, a little bit of regiment and, you know, more of a structured schedule, even if that's like my morning routine. I feel like simple things like that, making my bed, things that I can like start my day off that feel like a structured foundation. And I feel like that would hopefully snowball into some better eating habits. But I don't know. I'm all out of whack right now. But the whole point of this whole fucking segment is that I didn't want anyone watching to think that I think the way I look right now is good. I think it's bad. Don't be like me. Part of this podcast isn't preaching for you essentially to be like me and copy exactly what I do. A lot of this podcast, I want you to feel like you're learning something too. Maybe learning what not to do. Maybe a lesson on what to avoid. And I feel like if you are struggling with food, I wish I spoke up about this when I started having these horrible thoughts when I was younger. That's my one big regret in life. And I don't have many regrets, even with guys I've slept with. I don't have many regrets. One of my biggest regrets in life is not going to my parents sooner and being like, I need help. It's so hard to ask for help, especially when it's something so shameful, and it's a confusing thing because it's food. It's so simple. I don't understand. I had such a blessed upbringing. I have great parents. I have a healthy and blessed life. I never understood why my mind worked like this. It was embarrassing. And I thought that there was something wrong with me that I even thought like that. And, you know, it was a big aspect of my life that I hid for so long from friends and family. But, you know, you're only as healthy as your deepest secrets. And this has been like one of mine for a very long time. So I just feel like if you're going through this, you know, speak up. I feel like there's so much power and bravery in that. And ask for help. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I've been dealing with this since I was 12 years old. I just wish I had gone to my mom sooner, you know? Because, like, that's what moms are there for. And she's always been, like, my biggest supporter when it comes to this shit. And they just want to help. But you can't, you know, you have to ask for it sometimes. People can't read your mind. Also, you got to want it, too. Like, what's that saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. I guess this kind of works for this situation as well. But yeah, I just wanted to start off this episode with that. Maybe something on the heavier side. I don't really get deep on this podcast much. I'm usually talking about cock. So this is one aspect of my life that I feel like humanizes me in a little bit, which I'm grateful for at the end of the day. It makes me a person. Anyways, let's get on to other lighter subjects. Now that I got that off my fake chest, we can start giggling again. That was pretty fucking heavy. I'm so sorry, guys. We're going to really do a 180 right now. One of you guys DM me being like, I think it would be really funny if you reacted to crazy sex stories. So I thought that'd be a really funny segment because, like, I do have crazy sex stories, but like low key, I've been reading these DMs and you guys are fucking crazier than I am. It might be even fun to have just like, you know, you guys on this podcast, you guys sitting with me right here in this chair and we can just, yeah, like, you know, kiki. That would be fun. Marshall, write that down. All right, let's start with number one. I asked you guys to submit your craziest ones and this is what we came up with. At the time of the story, I had a boyfriend, but I hung out with two of my guy friends for a night and we decided to have some drinks and go on Omegle. We ended up talking to this one guy who kept joking with us, saying my two guy friends were going to run a train on me. Period. We laughed it off since both my guy friends knew I had a boyfriend. We spent maybe another hour on Omegle, but by the time we got off, we were all pretty drunk. One thing led to another, and we ended up having a threesome at my guy friend's house. To this day, no one knows, and I never got caught for it. Honestly, period. That's all I have to say to this. I mean, I feel like getting run train on is very different. That's some Bonnie Blue shit. Getting run train on is very different than having a threesome. I would take this to the grave as well, but sometimes it just happens. I feel like this is one of those I feel like this is what you see in like a Hallmark movie, you know? Like you're just giggling with your two guy friends and you end up having a threesome. This has happened. I want to say this has happened to me before. I'm thinking about this one time I visited Syracuse College back in the day. And we were with a group of my girlfriends. And we were also with a group of my guy friends. And we were staying at this like fucking janky ass frat house. And there was like 9 of us, but one mattress. So we were all like staying in different, like I think other girls knew people there. And I remember it was like me, my guy friend, my friend, and then another guy friend. And we're all sharing this one like blow up mattress on the floor of this fucking cockroach infested frat. And we were like all like kind of in the spooning position. And I think my guy friend was railing me from behind while my other guy friend was railing my other girlfriend from behind, and me and my girlfriend were facing each other. And it was like one of those things where it's like really quiet and we thought we were getting away with something, but we weren't. And like there was like people, I was like a whole thing. But you know what? I would do it again. Sometimes after those like tequilas, the moment strikes and it's like your guy friend, you feel comfortable and safe and we're all cuddly and like a little cuddle puddle, and sometimes it just like slips in ya. Sometimes when it slips in ya, that's like the best kind of, you know, situation, if you know what I mean. And I'd fucking do it again. But honestly, whatever. I'm assuming you're college. I'm under the assumption by this story. I mean, if you're going on Omegle for fun, I'm assuming you're in college. This is just gonna be part of your lore one day. And now it's part of your lore because I'm talking about it on this podcast. I love that for you. I feel like Omegle was probably the first place I ever saw a penis. Like me and my friends used to like go on there like during sleepovers thinking it was so funny. But it's like kind of, now that I look back at it, not funny at all. Okay, let's get to our next story. D1 to NBA basketball freak had an insane thing for getting his ass ate. I've eaten so many asses in my days. I don't know, guys love it. And I think they don't talk about it enough. And I think a guy that's like afraid to like even get their ass like touched, even like if you're applying just like a little bit of pressure. Because I feel like guys at the very bare minimum should like enjoy just like applying a little bit of pressure down there. But like getting their ass eaten, I feel like it's totally fine. I don't judge when a guy's into that. And you just know when they're just like when you're like giving them head and like sucking them sideways and they're just thrusting their hips into your face, you just know in that moment that they like getting their ass eat. It's one thing when they're on all fours. I've had that happen as well. That's insane. But like honestly, I get in there. I get in there and I'm not afraid of dark crevices. Okay, I'll get in to the caves and the depths and I do not give a fuck. You know, when it comes to that shit, I don't really care, but I don't think that's really crazy. I think that you should try everything at least once. I think these men need to stop being so scared of that shit. They think that I don't understand. They're gonna like turn gay or something if like they get their ass eaten. I don't really get where the fear stems from, but I say I love that for you. But it is interesting to see a guy on all fours. It's almost like powerful. It feels powerful to me. I feel like it's like a power dynamic switch where like the guy's on all fours and I'm behind them. Like this is where I say like I would love to peg a guy. Like I've always wanted to do that just to like know what it feels like. I feel like I would fucking eat that shit up. I would love it. But one day. Wait, this kind of like reminds me of the next one that was submitted. My ex wanted me to peg him, was open to the idea, but got the ick once he was on all fours. See, like there's something about a guy with a fucking arched back and like his asshole winking in your face and you're just like, what are we doing here? But I would fucking do it. What would give me the ick is going on like, you know, Pegs R Us online and like ordering a strap on. I don't think I would love that process. I also don't know what that process looks like. I actually know girls that have pegged guys and said that it's fucking phenomenal and amazing. But you know, once you're pegging a guy, I think it's okay to like start questioning things a little bit. It is out there. Definitely. But like the G spot is in a guy's ass. This is why guys like a little finger in the ass, applying a little pressure. It does feel good for them. Like, it does. You can ask them. Ask your boyfriends. They might lie to you, but they know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I will do it one day, mark my words. I just have to find the right guy. We have to find the right man. Mr. Right will want to get pegged. And that's the truth. I don't think, but like, I get the arching the back. It is a little, you know, it throws you off a little bit. I like used to hook up with this guy that like, I swear to God, wanted a full fist in his ass. And I would do my best because I have dainty wrists. But there's no need for my full fucking, like at that point, like sit on a fucking tree stump. Like I don't know what you want me to do here. I had sex on the U at Union and my friends were watching on the sidelines. Did you also do that? Okay, so sex on the U. I'm so glad you asked. So I also went to Union College, which is why this question is near and dear to my heart. So there were like 7 things like you would do at Union College. That was like the naked knot, like you had to pee on some statue, and like there was like things that you would like check off that everyone would have to do before they graduated. I never had sex on the U, which it just never appealed to me. Like to go on the turf, like everyone was always doing it. So I was like, it was just weird. Like I it shocks a lot of people that I never did it. I think I did pretty much all the other ones, but I just like, I don't want to go out after, you know, a night of partying and then go on like a turf field and like get rug burn on the fucking turf. That just like never appealed to me. But I will say that there were trolleys that would bring you from different points of campus. And I remember I left a frat party once and we were the only people in the trolleys, and I like got fingered and gave this guy a hand job in the back of the trolley. I did do that. But other than that, like I pretty much had a boyfriend that wouldn't fuck me my whole college career. So if he wouldn't fuck me in a bed, I don't know why he would fuck me on like the turf field of a team that he was once on that he got kicked off of. So like it didn't like, I think there was reasons why we didn't have sex on the field. But no, I didn't have sex in the U. I think that's fun though. And if I did have a fun boyfriend, we would be fucking on that goalpost, I swear, and my friends would be watching and cheering me on. So I think that's fun, and I'm so jealous that you still go to Union, and I hope you have the best time ever. I miss it every day, kind of. Okay, next one. Fucked my boss in his office while employees were in the room next door. Now, fucking my boss would be the only thing that would get me to a corporate job. I think that's so fun to have like a fun, flirty relationship with your boss. If it's like fun and flirty and casual, but like that's some Samantha Jones shit that I love. When she's fucking that guy Richard and, you know, she's like the PR girl and she blah, 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 like she drops like the stack of papers in front of his desk and starts like blowing him while it's like a glass and everyone can watch. I'm like, that's some shit that I would love to do. I think that's fun, but don't get fired. Keep your job. In this economy, we can't afford to lose our jobs. But I think that's so fun. While the employees were in the next room, I would be fucking in every crevice of that office. I think that's so fun. Anyways, okay, next. Had sex with my ex situationship on the couch at Surf Lodge. Oh my God. How? How did you not get kicked out? Like on the one outside? While people were around? Now this is some baller shit. I've never had sex in like a super, super, super public place like this where like people are literally sitting next to you. That reminds me of, what was it, Kyle Richards? And she said like she had sex at like a dinner party. It was like a group of like 12 people and she was like sitting on her husband's lap and like had sex with him there. I always think about that story and I'm like, how did that even work? Like you just like hike your skirt up? That's like insane to me. That's wild. That's out there and power to you. Maybe I'll try that this summer, but I might lose a couple brand deals if I do that. Okay. Guy was straddling my chest and I was giving him head and his dingleberry fell on my chest. I would throw up and then fucking rip his balls off. I would put his balls into his scrotum and they would be coming out of his fucking mouth. That's disgusting. I would take a shower so quickly. He would never make eye contact with me again. And he would rue for eternity and days to come. And the generations to follow him and his bloodline would rue as well. That's gross. Tell this man to fucking wipe his ass and take a shower. Okay? But I'm just going to flip it and play devil's advocate for really quickly. This has never happened to me, by the way, but I have heard horror stories of my friends having anal and it ending poorly. And if a guy can see past that, then we could probably see past a dingleberry. I guess it's just as much as you possibly can stomach. I don't think I could stomach that in the moment. What if it fell into your mouth? Sometimes you're just so drunk, it doesn't even really matter. And it's just like, it's a gross act at the end of the day. We're not going down there. It's not the dentist's office. You know, like we're not cleaning teeth here. We're like sucking dick. And sometimes you got to go in the trenches. And sometimes the trenches are dark. And maybe a dingleberry will get in your eye. I would just make sure you don't get pink eye. Or like, you know, a yeast infection in your throat. I heard about that happening once. Someone got a yeast infection in their throat. And that's fucking gnarly. Okay, let's do more of these sex stories. These are really fun. Once I was sleeping with a guy and I got dressed after to realize I was putting on another girl's thong. Oh, girl, the down badness I would feel after this, like that is walk of shame, final boss. But I will say that I've been in this boat before. Maybe not a thong. That's fucking crazy. And this guy should be sued. Like, we should find this man and he will rue for eternity. But I will say that, like, I've left guys. You just, like, know when someone's, like, cooked here before. Like, I've hooked up with guys and, like, seen, like, tampons and, like, makeup remover in their drawers. And I'm like, who's fucking cooking here? There was this one guy I was hooking up with in New York, and like we had been hooking up for so long, but like he had really been like clear about this is a situationship, but like the sex was good, so I just like kept going back, and I like was hoping that maybe one day he would change his mind about, you know, it being a situationship. He never did, but anyways, he was definitely hooking up with other people, and I was leaving, and he was like, "Oh my God, here are your earrings," and I was like, "Babe, those are my earrings." It was humiliating. But I feel like we've all been there. I feel like that might be a universal experience. These guys are fucking stupid. Okay, I vomited on a guy's schlong while giving head. Guy asked me to keep going. I mean, I guess it's like a form of lubricant. You know, if a guy, but like if you don't want to keep going, if you don't want to be sucking him off, stop. Like there's no world where we should be like choking ourselves out to make a man come. You okay? Like for what? No. This is not what we do. This is not what I tell you guys to do. You come first, and then maybe we'll think about it. But this happens, unfortunately. I feel like this used to happen to me a lot in college when I didn't figure out exactly how to give head, because, you know, like the key to giving head is like using both your hands. And I would say that tricks them into thinking that both these hands is your whole fucking throat. You know, it feels the same at the end of the day. If you have enough saliva and spit in there, it all feels the same if you're going in the right hand motion and you're sucking them off correctly. You do not actually need to be shoving that whole penis down the crevices of your throat. You know, sometimes I like to throw that in there as like a special, you know, just to make them a little weak in the knees for like a second. But their dick is not at the bottom of, like, it's not by my fucking clavicle the whole time I'm sucking them off. That would be fucking insane. I think I would break my throat. Use both hands and give twister, spit on that shit. But you really have to focus on the tip. The tip's where the sensitivity is. That's where the is. Get in there. But I feel like there's no reason. Like, that's why I didn't know how to suck dick in high school. My ex actually told me I was horrible at sucking dick. And now I'm like the best at it ever. And he will rue. But that was like my biggest mistake, was thinking that I always had to be fucking deep throating and like getting fucking skull fucked. That's not how it works. Getting skull fucked is fun sometimes though. But only like when you're like hanging off a bed and your head's backwards, and it's only for like 10 to 15 seconds tops. It's a good like mental image for the men. But other than that, like, no. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so this guy took me from his bed to his bathroom, that a sofa chair, and started playing Trap Queen. Girl. Honestly, this is the problem with songs like that, because I love Fetty Wap. I love Trap Queen. I'd be like bouncing on that dick and I'd be like, hit the bando. That's the problem with good music when it's playing. That would kind of throw me off a little bit though. I mean, my sex playlist, I feel like I should like put out a sex playlist, because my sex playlist in college was so fucking fire, guys. Like, Or Nah was like the number one on the list. Let me go through it right now. I still have it on my SoundCloud. I made it private because people started to follow me after that one episode. Me and my friends had this shared sex playlist that was like all sex music that also had the saxophone in it. And it was called S.A. Well, like, it was a play on the word sax. Wait, I have to share this playlist. It is actually so good. Like, you guys will all cream and all your men will cream to it. It'll be fucking amazing. But if a man started playing fucking dubstep or like rock and roll, I mean, I've fucked like country music before and I don't even like that. It's too slow for what I enjoy. I guess it really depends what you're into. Trap Queen, low-key, I think I would be like kind of eating that shit up. I'd be like, it'd probably get me in the mood. I love Fetty Wap. Got horny at a college tailgate and had sex in a porta potty. All right, babe, this is gross. No, we're never that horny. Like, if I can look down and see piss and shit, like, I am dried up immediately. But I get, like, I feel like people do that People used to do that at this thing called Country Fest, which is like a Boston thing. Like it's a country music festival, obviously, like 45 minutes away from Boston that we used to go to when we were super young. People would always be fucking in the porta potties. I mean, I love that for you, but I mean, who the fuck am I to judge? Okay, my body count looks like a fucking zip code. Pop off, queen. Sorry. I didn't mean to judge you. Oh, wow. Fucking on a jet ski is tougher than it seems, but a really great orgasm. I feel like, yes. I feel like I would do this. If I was in the Bahamas on a jet ski and it was me and my man, you know, the revving of the engine just works in your favor. I would say this is really fun. If you brought some lube with you, and don't let any of the ocean water get inside of you because that's a UTI waiting to happen. I just had sex with my ex in the private dance room at the strip club Friday night, LMAO. Girl, me and you both, sister. Sisters in sucking. That's what I'll call us because I've been there. Was it 11? I did this once. I think it's fun. I think it's normal. You know, sometimes like people don't understand, like at a strip club, like especially if like you're a good strip club. I've been at strip clubs before. Like I get really caught up in the moment. Like I was at this one Rhino in Vegas. Like I swear I almost took home a stripper, like a woman. Like you get really just like caught up. I don't know. I think I was on a little bit of like shrooms as well. So that probably had something to do with like me just getting lost in like this euphoric moment. But it happens. Sometimes you go to the back room with a guy at a strip club and sometimes a finger slips or you're like throating a guy. That just happens sometimes. I think it's fun if you don't get like in trouble or caught. In my situation, the stripper was there and it was like a hand job and it was like, and then she left and then it was like a little bit of a sakiana and then we were making out and then we ordered chicken nuggets. It was like a whole thing. I think it can be fun and flirty and like, you know, a little bit of like, we're doing this in a public space kind of thing without it being super public. I think it could be fun. And I think that's slay. All right, guys, those were so fun. You guys are a bunch of sick little freakianas and I love you for it. Keep submitting those to Extra Dirty and like keep your eye out because we do these posts all the times. Submit your stories. Am I the asshole? Your, you know, anything, honestly. What'd you have for lunch? I don't like anything. I want to hear it. So just submit those to the Extra Dirty account. And if you don't follow the Extra Dirty account already, like please do. Anyways, what else do we want to talk about today? We have so many fun things coming out. I don't know when this episode will be airing, but assuming I'll be in Greece. I'm really excited. I've never had a European summer. I'm just like really looking forward to have like I keep saying this, like seductive and productive summer. I want to have a lighthearted summer. I want to be sucking everyone sideways kind of summer. No feelings attached kind of summer. Being a bad bitch in the sun kind of summer. You know? I just want to fuck around. Like genuinely just fuck around. I hopefully will be in the Hamptons a lot. I definitely will be in Nantucket a lot. And I think Europe's going to be a lot of fun too. I like want to make out with a lot of boys this summer. Like I want to make out with everyone. I want to be a make out slut. Okay? And be more selective of who I suck. A selective sucking summer. You know? We can't be sucking everyone off. I can't be blessing everyone. This is not what we do. We have to be selective of who we are sucking off sideways. Say that 5 times fast to your grandmother. But yeah, there's no boys on the roster right now, which honestly is refreshing. I did a whole foul sweep. There's literally no one I would like to talk to right now. And even when I do have a roster, I feel like I don't even like texting them. It's really just like, you know, I'm drunk and I'll like hit someone up. That's kind of how it happens, where like they'll hit me up and I'll hook up with them. And they're like kind of on the DL. I don't have anyone that I'm even like talking to right now. Like no one I can flirt with right now. And I'm so happy with that. Like I am protecting my fucking peace. What did we do? We also last Sunday, we went to the Caller Alex premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival. I thought it was the most beautiful, raw, vulnerable documentary I've ever watched. I mean, I was so proud of her. I was like emotional watching it. It was so amazing to see, like, it's so amazing to see her thrive. She's fucking crushing it, obviously. But if you haven't seen that, it's a must watch. It's amazing. And I'm so proud of our girl. But yeah, that was fun. And then we went to the after party at Zero Bond after that. And I probably drank a little bit. There's something about me in an open bar that do not connect. There's something about me in an open bar that do not connect well. I can't have free liquor near me because the drinks were flowing. I was having dirty martinis on a Sunday. I felt bad about myself yesterday. I was a bit hurt. There's nothing worse than being hungover on a Monday. I'd rather be hungover on a Sunday. Being hungover on a Monday is like, it involves a lot more self-reflection. But it was worth it. We were celebrating Alex and her success, so it was well worth it. Okay, guys, that was kind of a roller coaster of an episode today, so I apologize. We started off with the heavier bits, and we ended off, with a little bit more of the lighter bits and the sex and the fun and the zhuzhuzhu and the fun. But, I feel like I'm glad that I touched on the stuff in the beginning. And I feel like if I didn't, I would be doing you guys a disservice because it is a big part of me. So I'm glad I got that off my chest. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next week. As always, you can watch on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, and you can listen on any other platform. And for now, love you guys, and I'll see you next week.